What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the second episode of the PlayTheVinyl Podcast. Today, I'm going to be responding to your hot takes that you left on my Instagram page about a week ago. So let's get right into this. First off, Inspector Deck is extremely overlooked and is one of the best members of the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah, I'd say so. I feel like just because he never made like a Liquid Swords, or an only built for Cuban Links, like people don't consider him one of the best members of the Wu-Tang. But I mean, I think, if you go back and look at what he did on Wu-Tang's, Enter the 36 Chambers, and what he did on all his features, and even what he did on Liquid Swords, because that's essentially just a collab album. I don't think I've ever listened to a solo Inspector Deck project, but you put him on a track with the rest of the members, he clearly outshines them. Maybe not lyrically. I mean, even though I do think lyrically he does most of the time too. Maybe lyrically isn't the word. Maybe poetically he doesn't really. He might not outshine like what GZA was doing on Liquid Swords, but in reality, I mean, you listen to him on one of their posse cuts or on really any of those tracks that they all collab on, and he stands out. And I think he stands out because of the way he was rapping back then. It's like he could do that today and sound super, super in touch with like the current ways of rapping. He flowed so nicely on every single beat that he was on, from really those two albums that I really know off the top of my head, like know of his verses. He flowed really nicely. He had punchlines. He was very clear in what he was saying. His delivery was definitely the best out of any of them. So yeah, I mean, I agree. I would definitely agree. And maybe he's not the best because he hasn't had one of those legendary solo albums. But one of the best, definitely. I definitely think he was one of the best. Yeah, and extremely overlooked, definitely. Well, what are you gonna consider like one of the best? Are we talking top five? Yeah, he'd still be top five, maybe not top three. Because if you're gonna consider like the solo projects, and you have to kind of go GZA, you have to put RZA in there, and shit, who would be the third? Either Raekwon or Ghostface Killah. I mean, probably Raekwon because of his solo work too. Personally, like, I'd put Ghostface Killah in there. But yeah, no, Riz, like, he's top five. He's top five. But again, it's hard because so many, like, the Wu-Tang Clan is a clan. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of so many talented people in the Wu-Tang. I mean, fuck, are you gonna put him over ODB? I mean, I know ODB wasn't necessarily the best rapper out of any of them, but the dude had like legendary charisma and put out one legendary album, and then his second one is overlooked. ODB has a crazy influence, on today's rap. So I'd say in terms of rapping, yeah. In terms of his lyrical and his writing, his delivery, his flows, I'd say yeah. Let's put him in top three because he definitely can out-rap RZA. Possibly can out-rap Raekwon, and then I mean, I don't think anyone could really out-rap what GZA was doing on Liquid Swords. But if you're considering just the artist and if you're artistry, then I wouldn't say he's one of the best because you have to include Jizza, RZA, ODB, and Raekwon, and then what Ghostface, what goes what yeah what Ghostface is doing still to this day. So yeah, it's a hot take, but not necessarily. I don't think it's necessarily true in terms of artistry, but in terms of rapping, yeah, I'd say so. Next, we have Kanye isn't a top 20 rapper of all time. What do you consider rapping? I mean, if you're considering rapper lyrically, then I don't think you can at this point because of the ghostwriting allegations. But when people say top, however, rappers, I don't think they're just saying top 20, pen and pad writers or top 20 lyricists. We're talking rappers here. We're talking artists who are included in the genre of rap. No, I don't personally. I don't agree with that. I mean, Kanye. I mean, this man released late College Dropout, Late Registration, followed by, Graduation was great, but he released 808s following that, which I mean, I know everyone doesn't love 808s, but fucking dude, 808s slaps so hard, and was something that no one else was fucking doing in rap besides, really anyone. I mean, I'm not sure what the timing is, but people compare Cudi to what like Kanye was doing on 808s, but not even. I mean, Kanye was just fucking Kanye was on a different level with that, and even if he had ghostwriters on that, even if he had all of the money in the world to back it, it was still a fucking revolutionary album, and rap wouldn't be what it is today without that. So I don't think you could, off of just those 3 albums, I don't think you could even take Kanye out of the top 20. But then you go further than that, even though I don't consider it to be Kanye's best, a lot of people consider My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy to be a perfect 10. And then after that, he didn't slow down with fucking The Life of Pablo and Yay and Kids See Ghosts. So no, I wouldn't consider him I would consider him top 20. I wouldn't take him out of that. I mean, to name 20 rappers who have had more of an influence and more of a... Oh, and he made fucking Yeezus, guys. I mean, come on. Yeezus was for at the time was probably the most successful experimental rap album that's been made, and although at the time it really wasn't accepted as that much, I mean he did go on tour, obviously he did Kanye's thing, but I think in terms of rap enthusiasts and music enthusiasts, it wasn't really accepted. Now when people look back at it, they're kind of like, holy shit, like he was doing what My Favorite Rapper was doing before my favorite rapper was around. Yeah, Kanye has had lows, but musically, I mean, in terms of albums, his lowest is what? Graduation. Oh no, his lowest is Jesus is King, but who the fuck pays attention to that album? Yeah, dude, no one has a discography like Kanye. No one has the influence that Kanye has. I don't think you can take him out of top 20 just for that. And every lane that he's gone in, he's been successful in. Not in terms of album sales, not in terms of like the commercial fucking ability of the album. No, like artistically, he has been successful in every single lane that he's gone in. And people take him out of the top 20 just because, I think, also because of, like, his publicity shit and the stupid shit he's fucking said and done. It doesn't fucking matter. He's an artist, dude. Like, as an artist, you have to appreciate the artistry that comes out of him. No one's had a creative brain like Kanye. Alright, this next one, I want to give more of an answer to, but unfortunately, I can't. I have Rina Sawayama is better than Charlie XCX. Neither are my type of music. Shit, I don't think I've listened to like a Charlie XCX song in God knows how long. I from what I heard out of pop artists, I listened to like some songs by both of them. From what I heard, I liked Charlie's music better. I thought Rina was just a little more pop generic. But you know, it's not my field. It's not like my expertise, so I'm not gonna really speak on it much. I don't want anyone to fucking get hurt over it. Next, Kanye doesn't have a 10. You're wrong. College Dropout, Late Registration. What else? College Dropout, Late Registration. Would you consider 808 a 10? I wouldn't consider 808 a 10. But College Dropout, Late Registration, you could argue that either of those are a 10. Everyone's like, well, new workout plan. Okay, you know, if I picked all of everyone's 10s, there's going to be one song on those albums that aren't good. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, it's still a good song compared to what the fuck else was going on in rap during the time. So you can consider either of those a 10. And listen, I can understand your opinion if you're going to say, well, you know, he has a 9. Like, yeah, you can make an argument for either of those albums, really, that they're a 9. Or that they could be a 9. Late Registration is definitely a 10, though. Also, keep in mind for those two albums, Kanye's production was something that no one was really doing at the time. I know producers like No, obviously Madlib, Dilla, like they were all doing soul samples, but the way that Kanye was doing them in terms of, catchiness and in terms of song structure, and I'm sorry, I have We Made It with Nas just playing in the back of my head right now because that's such a fucking banger. But in terms of how he was setting up his songs, how he was producing, how successful he was making that type of music, no one else was doing. Yeah, dude, college, and one of those can both be argued to be 10s. You could argue for them to be a 9, but you could argue for both of them to be 10s. People consider Kids See Ghosts to be a 10. I would consider Kids See Ghosts to be a 10, but it's 7 tracks long, and there are ghostwriters on that, and I don't know. Cudi and Kanye's chemistry on that is good, but it's not fantastic. It's not I don't know. To me, it's like it's a high 8 or 9, but it's not a 10. But you could also make the argument that fucking 808s is a 10. So that's 3 right there. So yes, he has a 10, and it's legendary. Eminem fell off after 2015, and that's when his quality started dropping like crazy. Which album came out in 2015 by Eminem? 2015. Oh, he didn't drop an album in 2015. Campaign Speech was 2016. Yeah, I mean, yeah, because MMLP2 is still a fucking solid album. It does have a lot of good songs, and it was kind of even though it was, I don't know what he was going for. What would you call it? Like an alternative rap album. Even though it was the most popish album he made, aside from Recovery, I guess. The way he was rapping and his delivery still reminded you of fucking, the old Slim Shady or the old Marshall Mathers. So yeah, because fucking somehow this man went from dropping MMLP2, waiting fucking 4 years, and then dropping the hot piece of shit that's Revival. I mean, yeah, he's fallen off. I would say after MMLP fucking dropped, he fell apart. MMLP2, that's when he started falling apart. Cause that's when he dropped Guts Over Fear, which was a fucking hit, but it was not necessarily his best work. But then he dropped fucking Campaign Speech, and after that, everything just fell apart. Because that's when he started, like, trying to be someone he's not as a rapper, trying to get political, trying to make these statements. I mean, he always made, like, political statements, but it was never just, like, it was always goofy. It was always, like, over the top, goofy, and obscure, and fucking, like, you know, explicit. And he kind of, you know, he even though he is still explicit, his delivery now is just, like, it's bland. Even though I think, like, within the last year he's been kind of getting better with, I mean, Music to Be Murdered By wasn't anything fantastic, but it was good. I mean, it was okay. Just it only because of, like, the fact that he sounds a little bit more like his older self. Yeah, I agree. After 2015, after really 2013, Eminem just fell off. His delivery changed, his flows changed. It sounded like he forgot how to rap, which is a shame because Eminem is one of the best of all time. I don't care what anyone says. The man dropped fucking SSLP, MMLP, Eminem Show. Relapse is a good album. MMLP 2 is a good album. Recovery is okay. Encore is okay. Eminem Show is a good album. So, yeah. The fall off was indeed significant. Next. I don't know if this is considered a hot take, but Prince is better than MJ. Yeah. Man, this... Why'd you have to do this? Why'd you have to go and say this? Here's the thing. MJ's like, his melodies, you know, just in terms of his music, like he had like almost the formula to making hits and making music to dance to down pat, and he had the voice that he had, which was phenomenal. However, I would say in terms of instrumentals, in terms of maybe even creativity and artistry, I would give it to Prince. I mean, have you, like, there are videos online of Prince just absolutely tearing apart, like, a fucking guitar and just shredding it. I mean, Prince was hella talented, and MJ was too, but I'd say in terms of artistry, in terms of instrumentals, maybe a little bit in, like, terms of more down-to-earth talent, not so much, like, mainstream, you know, mainstream flashy type pop talent. I'd say, yeah, Prince definitely takes that. Blue and Deacon the Villain are better than Jay-Z. God, I asked for hot takes and I got hot takes because, yo, like, hold up. This is gonna be a big one because, yeah, listen, Blue and Deacon the Villain, they're just like pure lyricists. Deacon the Villain is, I mean, from what I've heard from him, he's extremely creative as well, which helps him. But, yo, like, how can you compare either the, like, anyone in the rap game to what the fuck Jay-Z did for rap? I mean, Jay-Z made rap mainstream. You know, he put rap on, like, the global level. He put it on the radio. He made it pop. Like, he made, you know, now rap is pop. And that's Jay-Z. Like, he made rap pop. However, Jay-Z's lows were low. You know, Jay-Z hasn't had the most consistent career. But Blue, if you're going to argue for Blue, you can make that argument because Blue dropped Below the Heavens, you know, which is obviously like one of, I mean, I don't think it's one of the best rap albums of all time, but it's definitely the best, like, jazz rap album of all time. It's one of the best underground rap albums of all time, probably. But however, like Blue took a fall off after that, and I mean his last album, people were fucking losing their minds over it, dude. It was an hour and a half. It was 90 minutes of Blue saying blue metaphors, talking about how he's blue and how the world is blue, and Miles Davis was blue, and he was like, it doesn't make it, to me. It was just like, it was so fucking redundant, and if Blue didn't have the production of Exile behind him, it would be a different story. I respect Blue as an artist. I respect his creativity. Like he said on that album, like, he's a true artist. He really cares about his craft. But you don't go from making Below the Heavens, then like kind of not dropping anything significant, to making their last album and just bouncing back with a 10. Like, guys, it's not a 10. It's not a 9 either. Like, Exile's production is pleasing to the ear, but like when you have a rapper over it beating the same metaphors over, the whole album is about the color blue, pretty much. Like, the whole album he's mentioning blue. Every single syllabi, whatever, metaphor that he's using, every single like artistic comparison, it all has to do with him being blue. Or even if he's not saying I'm blue, it goes back to like the mood of being blue, or the tone of being blue. And it's just redundant after a point. Like, I got the point 6 songs into the album, and I had to go and listen to another fucking 60 minutes of it, So, listen, if you put Blue's best album up against Jay-Z's best album, there's definitely like a competition there. But for what else Jay-Z has dropped and for what else Blue has dropped, you can't consider Blue better than Jay-Z. And in terms of Deacon the Villain, again, like, you're taking someone who's dropped great albums but hasn't had the influence that Jay-Z had, and just like, they're not really you can't really compare them. I know Deacon has produced, and I know he's been around the block and shit. But to compare what Cunning Linguist has done versus what Jay-Z has dropped with the Blueprints, 444, it doesn't really match up. They're different, they're not. Jay-Z is like Kanye, like, he's on another level, but no one, when you're on that other level, whether it's Cole, Kendrick, Jay, Wayne, Ye, they get like, their artistry isn't respected as much once they reach that level. Although I think that Jay-Z isn't the most artistic or creative rapper in terms of lyricism and just, on like what he's done on the mic, he's got it, he's up there. He's up there with the best. So in terms of, if you were to make a top 20 rapper list, it's like, or top 50, Jay would go higher up or lower, more towards number 1 than Blue and Deacon, in my opinion. So, that's really it for today. Those are all the hot takes that I've got. What are we at? We're at 24 minutes, so good timing. Thank you guys for tuning in this week. I'm gonna do these not this week, but next week I'll drop another thing on Instagram where you guys can tell me your hot takes again. Stop the Kanye slander. Stop shitting on Kanye. Don't shit on Kanye. There's no reason to shit on Kanye. Kanye's Kanye, man. If you're gonna shit on Kanye and say he doesn't have a 10, then don't go listening to fucking, or not saying he's, whatever, a goat. Don't go listening to Travis Scott or Kid Cudi or Lil Uzi Vert, because he made those boys. He made them what they are. They wouldn't be here without the Ye, without Yeezy. But yeah, peace out, guys. So I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for dropping your hot takes for those who dropped them. See you in the next one.